What's up, Magic players? It's Doyle, your host here on DoylePrimeMTG, where I bring you the latest and greatest in Magic content that I can while still trying to have a life. This week, I want to bring you the other precon that I decided to buy from Adventures in Forgotten Realms, Rakdos. No, I'm not running Prosper this week. He might come later. This week, I've decided to run the tyrannical Karazikar.
Forests, islands, mountains, plains, and swamps. The multiverse is all that is, or ever was, or ever will be. There is a tingling in the spine, a faint sensation, as if a distant memory, of walking from plane to plane. Our lives have been forever changed, as if by magic. Embark with me on this journey to eternity. Experience the true power of mind over matter as we ignite your spark and traverse into the magic multiverse.
I'm a fan of Karazikar from D&D lore, and also from the game that's out on Game Pass, Dark Alliance. Definitely the cooler Beholder, in my opinion. This mad-eyed tyrant costs 3 black-red for a legendary 5/5 Beholder with, whenever you attack a player, tap target creature that player controls, and goad it. This means that until your next turn, that creature attacks each combat if able, and attacks a player other than you if able. Karazikar also has, whenever an opponent attacks another one of your opponents, you and the attacking player each draw a card and lose 1 life. This final ability will be the focus of the deck, using the goad ability and other incentives for our opponents to attack each other. Surprisingly enough, even in Rakdos, we are still able to ramp it up. Soul Ring, Wayfarer's Bauble, and Arcane Signet are some excellent and well-known mana rocks that are difficult to exclude from a deck. Rakdos Signet, Talisman of Indulgence, and Thought Vessel will each fill the 2 CMC ramp slot. Curse of Opulence and Grim Hireling will each assist us in treasure generation when our creatures deal combat damage. Dowsing Dagger and Sword of the Animist will allow our attackers to generate land-based mana ramp. The dagger flips on combat damage, and the sword finds us basics into play tapped. Myriad Landscape can also help us ramp while only using a land slot itself. Next up, we will accelerate our card velocity with much more than just our commander. Simple card velocity can be generated through Night's Whisper, Sign in Blood, and Read the Bones. Jeska's Will and Light Up the Stage will allow us to utilize some impulse draw, while Wheel of Misfortune can recycle and refill our hand in a pinch. Phyrexian Reclamation and Phyrexian Arena can each help keep our hand full of options. Stormfist Crusader and Azra Oddsmaker can each afford us some creature-based card velocity, netting us a card each turn. Mask of Memory will also allow us to draw and to loot each time that the equipped creature deals combat damage to a player. Zancha Sleeper Agent will force our opponents to attack each other, and also allow us to use her card draw ability. Castle Lockthwain will help us draw cards when our hand is lacking, and Gyre Reach Sanitarium will allow us to churn through our deck a bit more. Emberwild Captain will start up the Monarch mechanic, and also help us to hold on to the crown. Prosper Tomebound will impulsive draw us 1 card per turn, while also generating us some incidental treasure tokens. Rankle, Master of Pranks, can allow us to draw some cards using combat damage triggers, as he triggers Karazikar also. Also, Rite of the Raging Storm will give our opponents some creatures that must attack and can't attack us, triggering Karazikar each of their turns. Though this last card is not card draw per se, but it is a massive form of card advantage. Fevered Suspicion can generate us much value, grabbing 2 spells from each opponent's library and letting us cast them for free. We will want to exert much control over the playspace as we steer the chaos in our favor. Douthie Embrace and Douthie Trapper can each give target creature Shadow, dragging it into the Upside Down. Shadow Spear and Arcane Lighthouse will ensure that targeting our opponent's creatures will be no issue. Bloodthirsty Blade will give us another option for goading our opponent's creatures. War's Toll will turn 1 goaded creature into a full forced combat. Bolt Bend will allow us to redirect a spell for just a red mana as long as we control our commander. Koskan Falls helps to keep creatures from attacking us too much, taxing their controllers for each attacker. 5 Alarm Fire allows our combat damage to build up a resource for repeated removal. Disrupt Decorum will goad everything, guaranteeing a full round of card draw with our commander. Vandal Blast can play as a spot removal or as a board wipe, ridding the field of nasty artifacts. Royal Assassin can tap to destroy target tapped creature. With all of this forced combat, we have plenty of removal targets. Pajuka Bog can cripple the graveyard player at the table. Stronghold Rats forces discards upon combat damage, also triggering our commander. Kazul, Tyrant of the Cliffs, can help to deter attacks by creating token blockers whenever we are attacked. Tyrant's Familiar can slam our opponents in the face with combat damage, while also slinging large bouts of damage at the defending player's creatures. Grenzo, Havoc Raiser, Geode Rager, and Vengeful Ancestor can each help us goad more creatures per turn. We will also want to ensure that we can attack our opponents safely, so I have included a slew of creatures that can do just that. Changeling Outcast can't be blocked. Eye Collector has flying and some flavor. Eye Twitch also has flying and flavor. Hope of Girapur has flying and can be cast with either of our colors. Tormented Soul can't be blocked. Douthie Cutthroat has Shadow and can destroy target creature with Shadow. We have a few cards that can give our opponent's creatures Shadow also that I mentioned earlier. Douthie Ghoul also has Shadow. Just a reminder, these creatures with Shadow can block and only be blocked by other creatures with Shadow. Douthie Horror also has Shadow. Douthie Slayer has Shadow and attacks each turn if able. Douthie Voidwalker has Shadow and a Hate Bear effect. Douthie Warlord has Shadow and its power grows with the more Shadow creatures in play. Hunted Horror has Trample and also gives an opponent some creatures for us to goad. Loyal Apprentice creates Flying Thopters each of our combat steps. Nether Trader has Shadow and Haste, also enabling us to continue returning it from our graveyard. Hunted Dragon has Flying, and also, again, gives an opponent some creatures for us to goad. Blink Moth Nexus can help us in a pinch whenever we need an extra evasive creature in an emergency. Of course, I could have also included Ink Moth Nexus, but I thought it wasn't quite worth the price. In addition to all the combat damage and incidental life loss, we have a few cards that can close out the game that are also quite in line with our strategy. Vorpal Sword can have us picking off problematic players one at a time. Strixhaven Stadium can allow us to win with a minigame stapled to a mana rock. Draena, Liberator of Malakir, can add counters to our army as she deals combat damage, beefing them up for their next attack. Crown of Doom can also beef up our creatures by +2/+0 as they attack the Crown's controller, while our opponents will dump mana into playing Hot Potato with it. Surge to Victory lets us exile an instant or sorcery card from our graveyard, giving creatures we control +X+0 until end of turn, where X is that card's mana value. And whenever a creature we control deals combat damage to a player, we can cast a copy of that spell without playing its mana cost. This is an overrun effect in red, something we definitely haven't seen awesome, and something that can generate massive value as well. Our lands will include as many color-fixing lands as are reasonably priced, as well as a few that are not. Reprint good lands, you cowards! For color fixing, we have Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Forbidden Orchard, Blood Crypt, Dragon Skull Summit, Foreboding Ruins, Graven Cairns, Luxury Suite, Rakdos Carnarium, Shadowblood Ridge, Smoldering Marsh, Tainted Peak, and Temple of Malice, leaving us room for 7 swamps and 7 mountains. That about wraps it up for this deck tech. I hope you enjoyed the video. You'll find the link to the full deck list on arcadeck.com in the description, complete with a maybe board. Let me know in the comments below if you would take this deck in a different direction, or if there are any key includes that I missed. Cheers, and happy casting.
If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button, and also share it with your friends. If you want to see more videos like these, or hear me ramble about how to navigate this magic multiverse, go ahead and click that subscribe button to stay up to date on the latest from me, Doyle Prime, and the happenings throughout Magic the Gathering. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you all next video.